Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. We have a very interesting review in store for you. In a little dark, dank, smoky casino in the middle of town, just a block or two east of the Strip, you'll find a Las Vegas magical gem. It's probably one of the most unique places you'll find here in Vegas, with strange and unusual offerings. It retains all the luster, charm, and culinary intrigue which led to a spot on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and which has elicited an almost cult-like following. It's a cross between a diner you'd expect to find off an old, almost abandoned highway somewhere on the way to nowhere, and a hip and trendy bistro, almost too cool for its own good. Yes, some standard diner dishes, perfectly executed, abound, such as burgers, eggs, and pancakes. But also, the unusual combinations can be found here, such as duck sliders, pork belly bao, and short rib patty melts. This place never fails to surprise. And while a lot of places attempt odd combinations and culinary fusions of different genres, most of these attempts fall flat, as they seem more concerned with surprising the diner rather than delighting their taste buds. Not so here, where they excel at the unusual. These offbeat dishes were spectacular and had me dreaming of my return visit. A very unique place indeed. Today, we're at Fat Choy on East Sahara. And before we begin, stay tuned to the end of the video, as Fat Choy has graciously extended a special offer only to our viewers. Okay, right out of the gate, we're off to a great start with this pork belly bao. This is one of their signature dishes, and I can see why it's so popular. The pork belly's slow roasted and seasoned with a sweet teriyaki hoisin sauce. I used to go through a ton of pork belly in our restaurant, and I can tell you there's an art to cooking it just right. They did a terrific job with it here. Wonderfully tender without being overcooked. So it still has enough bite that you have to chew it and it won't just fall apart in your mouth. The meat to fat ratio is also perfect. Although after years of preparing pork belly, we learned that those who love pork belly are more likely to complain when there's a lack of fat rather than too much. Well, anyway, here there's an even marbling of fat throughout the meat, and it's marvelous. It's been so thoroughly marinated that the flavor has totally permeated throughout. I also really love the addition of the crushed peanuts, cilantro, and chopped green onions. They perfectly highlight and contrast the sweetness of the pork belly and give the entire dish a spicy bite as well as a textural lift. This is a unique dish which by itself is all the reason you'd ever need to frequent Fat Choy's. I think you're going to love it, and you can thank me now. Here we have the crispy chicken sandwich. Look at this beautiful golden brown slab of fried chicken. This is a very crispy sandwich indeed, topped with homemade sriracha aioli, lettuce, tomatoes, and pickles. Yum! I really like the temperature contrast between the hot chicken and the cool pickles. They played well together. There's something I never heard as a child. The chicken is uber crispy. I love the coating they use. Look how moist this beautiful breast meat is. I highly recommend this sandwich to anyone who likes fried chicken as much as I do. You won't be disappointed.
You had me at fried chicken.
And for a substitution charge of $2 on the fries, we ordered the clam chowder. This is a great soup. I can taste back notes of thyme and bacon. I think that's what gives it such a nice edge. This is a New England favorite, and I'm sure any New Englander would be most satisfied with this rich, creamy soup. And there's no shortage of chunks of clams and potatoes. So hearty and delicious, and warming. It must be 50 degrees inside this restaurant today, so the soup, in addition to the wonderful taste, is a welcome source of heat to warm me up. It's 100+ degrees outside right now here in Vegas, but I wish I'd brought a sweater or jacket with me. Look at this wonderful presentation. Fresh egg noodles, steamed cabbage, carrots, green onions, garlic, soy sauce, sesame oil, and grilled chicken. On paper, this chicken lo mein coulda, woulda, and shoulda been the standout dish of our adventure, if only it weren't overpoweringly salty. You know, I'm always honest and a critic, not a cheerleader. The first bite I took, I thought, wow, this is great. But the second bite, I found myself not able to reach fast enough for my soda in a vain attempt at a sodium cleanse of my palate. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of salt. We go way back. But there was an offensive amount in this dish. I think due to too much soy sauce. As a chef, I always taste anything that goes out of my kitchen to make sure it's properly seasoned. It seemed hard to believe that had happened with this dish. The other flavors going on in this dish were so amazing, it made me sad not to be able to eat it. The egg noodles were cooked to perfection, and the grilled chicken chunks were sensational, but sadly drowned out by the pungent saltiness of the soy sauce. If we didn't have so many things to try today, I would have sent it back and asked for them to make it again. Well, it was tragic to miss the opportunity to try this dish as it's usually prepared, as it had all the makings of something special. This is a generous-sized serving of wonton soup, enough for 2 people to share, or one very hungry person. While not as pretty as the photos I've seen on Yelp, the flavor is wonderfully rich. The shiitake mushrooms give it a very earthy, almost exotic taste. The broth is very unusual. It's a rich Asian rendition of an American Chinese soup. The wontons are terrific. I love the filling. It's shrimp and pork with lots of garlic and spice. They're obviously homemade. The noodles are also a great addition to the soup. Nice and al dente, not at all mushy. I wish I had some homemade chili oil for this soup. That would be an element which could have elevated this dish. This is an Americanized wonton soup, reinvented by an Asian chef, and it's definitely a fusion of 2 cultures, and an example where Fat Choy has successfully pulled off this type of melding. Just wonderful. Beautifully crispy Potstickers, yum. It's ground pork, minced garlic, and cabbage, enveloped in a delicate wonton wrapper, gently steamed, and then fried till golden brown and crunchy. I absolutely love these Potstickers. They're wonderful. However, I'm not a fan of the accompanying sauce, so I asked for any other sauces they might have, and I brought out their sweet chili sauce and chili oil, which was really more like a chili paste. Both are fantastic. I'd rate this chili oil paste among the best I've had here in Vegas. I could eat these sauces on anything, and proceeded to do exactly that for the rest of the meal. We're loving these Potstickers. Wow, this is some really great fried chicken. It's been marinated in saffron and buttermilk, and these flavors have totally permeated and penetrated every part of the chicken. Look at this golden color that the flesh of the chicken has taken on from the saffron. The brine is so nicely flavored with the salt and the saffron that it really doesn't need any dipping sauce. This chicken stands up on its own. The batter is very crispy and not uniform at all, so this, along with the flavor, tells me it's made from scratch. These are the same great fries they serve with everything, and I can't get enough. I could eat this chicken anytime and be happy. Look how moist it is on the inside. This would make any Southerner proud. I saw online that you can also get it with an order of popcorn shrimp, but today, I see they've removed that dish from the menu. Well, okay, but please don't ever take this saffron chicken off the menu. It's a fantastic dish. Recently, I was sent a food review about Fat Choy from a friend, and the 2 reviewers raved about the Fat Choy Burger and said it was, quote, perhaps the best and most underrated burger in town. Although both of the reviewers looked like they had scarcely eaten in a few years.
Never trust a skinny chef or a reviewer.
I can't agree more with these 2 lads. The Fat Choy Burger is wonderful. Make sure you ask for it rare. It has a good charred flavor, not that burnt charcoal taste I hate. It's made on a gas grill. The meat's a fresh ground beef patty. I'm pretty sure it's not one of those frozen and pre-formed ones, since everything here is made from scratch. It looks nothing like the photos I've seen online. It looks even better. Is it underrated? Well, let's just say I'm jumping up and down doing a happy dance. What makes this burger so spectacular is the sweet short rib, bacon, cheese, and egg. That, and a smattering of their signature umami-rich soy-based sauce, puts it a step above any other burger. The bun is also deliciously fresh. Okay, one word of warning though. As you can see, it's very, very juicy, and it makes a beautiful mess. So be prepared. I know it's not very pretty, but boy, is it delicious. Wow, we didn't realize they had such an extensive breakfast menu. So we decided to try a few breakfast dishes. It's served Thursday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. although on Sunday you can continue to get breakfast right through till 1 p.m. The rest of the week, they open only for lunch at 11 a.m. Right off the bat, from the pricing, I think this steak and eggs dish is one of the cheapest breakfast specials in town, coming in at just $6. They'll grill it for you any way you like. We asked for it rare, and they delivered. The steak's a good size, approximately 6 to 8 ounces, and perfectly cooked. It's also very well seasoned. I love the grill marks. Again, the grill is a gas grill and not charcoal, so it doesn't have that really overpowering taste that charcoal can sometimes impart. The eggs are over easy, cooked just right, and I'm loving these potatoes. I can tell they make them from scratch and are twice cooked. First boiled, then fried, which gives them a soft, creamy texture on the inside and a really nice crunchy exterior. They taste as good as they look and are very well seasoned. Nothing worse than bland potatoes. Well, no worries here. These potatoes are anything but bland. They are delicious. Overall, this is a really great deal. Another of what may be the best priced breakfast specials in town. Though my mom was Italian, she grew up in the South, and therefore I have an affinity for anything fried, and so I'm really looking forward to this country fried steak and eggs. From the start, this gravy, wonderful, creamy, rich, and full of chunks of country sausage and lots of pepper. I usually ask for my gravy on the side, but I ordered it the way it comes today so you can see the way it's normally served. The steak itself is beautifully crispy and holds up to the gravy without becoming soggy. It's well seasoned, properly marinated, and approximately 6 ounces. It's a real steak and not some type of composite. It's wonderfully tender, and unless you only have the strength of Mr. Burns, you don't even need a knife to cut it. After having these two breakfast items, I'm thinking Fat Choy is a shoo-in to appear in an upcoming Best Bargains of Vegas video. All right, well, that was a delicious excursion to Breakfast Town, but time to get back and finish up the main meal. Short rib grilled cheese. Oh my, we've saved the best for last. This is a tremendous sandwich. Big, bad bowl flavor going down here. I absolutely love the slowly cooked short rib and what I'm calling Fat Choy sauce, a combination of soy and hoisin sauce. It's these types of dishes that make me happy to discover places like this. Ones which are willing to experiment and go out on a culinary limb, yes, but also to pull it off so magnificently so we can all enjoy great new creations. This is one of those ideas which will have you saying later, I wish I'd thought of this first, but I'm going to steal it anyway. Maybe one of the best grilled cheeses anywhere. It's sort of like the love child of a grilled cheese, a patty melt, all meeting pot roast. Look how melty this cheese is. It's a delightful mess of cheesy goodness. My only criticism is the meat should have been a little more evenly distributed. The sandwich was kind of lopsided with a lot more of the meat on one side than the other. I forgot to mention how much I love this onion jam. It's stupendous. This is a must-order if you come here. It's a fantastic sandwich, and yet another reason to fall in love with Fat Choy. Well, this definitely has been a very satisfying experience. But now it's time to get serious and dive into the desserts. This is one sexy cheesecake. It tastes just like what I made in my restaurant. I've melted many a cold heart with this recipe myself. The desserts aren't made here, they're made by Maria's Bakery, but they're wonderful. Maria is obviously a great bake. This Oreo cheesecake, so creamy and light, but nice and sweet. Yes, we like our desserts to be sweet. This is actually a no-bake cheesecake. It's very easy to make with just a few ingredients, yet as many times as I've given people my recipe for a no-bake style cheesecake, very few people have ever actually gone and made them. Can't figure out why. It's such an easy approach. Anyway, you have to try this cheesecake. You're gonna love it. Even being dessert lovers, we don't usually go for a second dessert in the same meal. But this peanut butter cheesecake looks so fantastic, we just had to give it a try. And, as hoped for, it's fabulous. Again, reminiscent of a similar cheesecake I made in my restaurant. One addition I would recommend though is to put a 1-inch layer of chocolate ganache. Make it over the top good. Regardless, I absolutely recommend it, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. Look how light it is. The batter is whipped full of air, and so won't weigh you down. It's just an amazing texture. Now I know where to come when I'm craving my cheesecake and don't want to bake a whole one. I love the crust. It's a cookie crust made by crushing cookies and butter together and then packing them into the pan just before you add your cheesecake mixture. Absolutely fabulous. Well, we really enjoyed coming to Fat Choy. It's a fun, cozy place with gracious servers such as Carla.
Hey, gorgeous. Care to buy an old crab a drink?
And most importantly, unique, well-executed food. I really don't have many bad things to say apart from the salty lo mein. But being a former restaurant owner and chef, I realize we all have good and bad days. They obviously realize the same, as right on the menu they have this. If you feel we could have done better, please tell your server. If you enjoyed everything, please tell a friend. So, be sure to do exactly that. On the flip side, I'm reminded of how important it is to taste everything before sending it out to the guests. So, is Fat Choy worth a try? Well, that's simple. It's a resounding yes, it is. The food here is sensational and imaginative in a good way. The Saffron buttermilk fried chicken was some of the best I've ever tasted. The pork belly bao was incredible. And the Fat Choy Burger was top-notch. And while they don't make the desserts, they clearly grasp what we sweet tooths crave and have found some of the best in the city to provide the perfect end to any meal. Finally, here's the special offer we told you about for our viewers. Make sure to tell them Let's Eat Vegas sent you and receive a free soft serve ice cream on a cone. So try out Fat Choy. I know we'll for sure be back. Actually, we already have. And who knows, maybe you'll see us there. I know we're all guilty of watching YouTube videos and not participating. As a reminder, please like, comment, subscribe, or even become a VIP member. It means a lot to us, and it helps us grow and to bring you more reviews. Until we eat again, bon appetit!